2:14 a.m. The Black Sea looked less like water and more like a sheet of cold steel. No waves, no wind, just a suffocating fog hanging so thick it swallowed light itself. Even the coastline was silent, as if the night were holding its breath. Then, somewhere far offshore, the silence shifted, not with sound, but with movement. Ghost-like silhouettes glided across the water, sleek, angular, unnervingly smooth. No nav lights, no radar pings, no electronic noise. Just the faintest vibration in the air, too low for a human to recognize, but unmistakable to the right machine. This wasn't Russia's fleet. It wasn't NATO's. This was China. A covert deployment of Beijing's brand new stealth maritime drones and low-signature UAVs, loaned to Moscow under the table for one reason: to prove China now controlled invisibility. For 30 seconds, it looked like they did. Then, deep inside Ukraine's air defense nerve center, Atlas Shield, an AI system trained on millions of micro-patterns, detected something no human operator ever could. A tiny thermal tremor, a humidity ripple out of sync, a micro-rhythm that machines, not nature, produce. Atlas Shield flagged the event with a single, quiet line: "Stealth anomaly detected." At the console, Lieutenant Ilya Marenko leaned forward, realizing he was witnessing something no human was ever meant to see. What Ukraine detected that night wasn't just another drone patrol. It was the crown jewel of China's next-generation stealth doctrine, a fleet so secret that even parts of the PLA didn't know it had left Chinese waters. These aircraft represented years of research and billions in funding. Ultra-low RCS carbon skin fuselages, adaptive cooling panels that bleed heat away, multi-drone cloaking geometry that masks individual signatures. On paper, this fleet wasn't merely invisible. It was meant to embarrass Western detection systems. Beijing wanted validation. So, in one of the quietest joint operations of the war, China deployed a mixed pack of stealth UAVs into the Black Sea under the pretext of data collection. Test NATO's reaction time. Expose blind spots for future PLA naval operations. If China's stealth fleet succeeded, Ukraine wouldn't just lose radar coverage, it would lose the night. China's entire gamble rested on one assumption: Ukraine was still looking with eyes and radars built in the 1990s. But Ukraine wasn't watching with old metal towers and spinning dishes. It was watching with Atlas Shield, an AI system that doesn't track objects. It tracks behavior. And at 2:14 a.m., China's most advanced stealth fleet wasn't invisible anymore. Beijing didn't know it yet, but humiliation had already begun. China's stealth fleet didn't expose itself through noise or heat. It exposed itself through perfection. Atlas Shield, Ukraine's IISR brain, caught anomalies no human could see. Humidity shifts repeating every 11.7 seconds. Identical micro-turn radii. Synchronized altitude drift. Thermal dips matching PLA cooling prototypes. Alone, nothing. Together, a pulse, a machine rhythm, a stealth formation hiding behind its own precision. Then came the human fragments, a fisherman hearing a metallic mosquito hum, a satellite analyst spotting shadows that didn't match moonlight. Atlas Shield fused every clue into a single behavioral fingerprint. By 2:18 a.m., the model was finished. Resync cycles, cooling rhythms, drift tolerances, stealth envelope limits, and the exact second the fleet's geometry would collapse into one visible mass. In that moment, China wasn't just detectable. It was targetable. Marenko stared at the unfolding pattern, a ghost fleet breathing in machine rhythm. Ukraine waited 3 long weeks, watching China's stealth fleet repeat the same flawless, AI-controlled flight loop across the Black Sea. And then, nature opened the door. 2:39 a.m. A temperature inversion settled over the water, a rare blanket of warm air. To civilians, nothing. To stealth engineers, a nightmare. Sound bent, thermal signatures smeared like wet paint. China's fleet responded exactly as expected. Its formation slowed and widened 0.4 degrees to maintain stability. To Atlas Shield, that micro-adjustment meant one thing. Their stealth envelopes had overlapped. For the first time, the fleet was not 14 invisible drones, but one large detectable mass drifting across the fog. "The window's open," Atlas Shield signaled. Ukraine's strike commander didn't hesitate. "Lock it! Prepare deception layer!" Behind him, Marenko tightened his grip on the console. He knew the window wouldn't stay open for long, because China still believed it was unseen. Ukraine was about to make it blind. At 2:44 a.m., Ukraine executed the first strike of the night. And it wasn't an attack. It was misdirection. 4 ghost drones lifted into the air, cheap, sloppy, intentionally flawed machines, broadcasting distorted thermal wakes and messy electromagnetic pulses. China's swarm AI reacted instantly. Its sensors rotated. Its scan pattern tightened. Its formation constricted to maintain stealth geometry. And that was the mistake. The more the fleet corrected, the more its stealth envelopes overlapped, the more visible it became. While China focused upward, chasing shadows, Ukraine's real strike vectors slid in low, silent, and invisible across sea level and cloud cover. By the time China realized the ghost drones were fake, the real attack was already closing in. Not brute force. Engineered failure. 3 sea-skimming drones raced at wave height, too low for radar, too irregular for AI filters. Not fast, not flashy, just unavoidable. At 22,000 feet, ISR drones fed Atlas Shield microcorrections, humidity drift, envelope distortion, wind shear, tightening the kill box with every data burst. Short-lived electromagnetic blind spots, just 3 to 7 seconds, knocked the fleet out of sync without triggering alarms. 600 meters from the waterline, a recon team waited in inflatable boats, ready to laser designate if the AI faltered. Machines read patterns, humans read chaos. Together the trap sealed shut. China's radar picture fractured. Multiple altitudes, conflicting returns, nothing matching doctrine. 4 vectors, 1 convergence, seconds until exposure. 3:01 a.m. 1 Chinese UAV flickered onto Ukraine's screens, then another, and another. Alarms rippled across the command center. Marenko felt the room tighten. The collapse had begun, caused not by jamming or missiles, but by China's own AI drowning in its corrections. Sync cycles broke. Cooling rhythms fell apart. Overlapping stealth envelopes tore the formation open. Marenko's pulse hammered. A world power was being unmasked live. A sea skimmer clipped the lead UAV's wing. 2 drones spiraled into the sea. Another hit a null zone, rebooted mid-flight, fatal for millisecond machines. A third climbed to escape and exposed its engine plume. Ukraine hadn't overpowered the fleet. China's stealth had devoured itself. Predictability, once its strength, had become its downfall. In Beijing, senior PLA officers later asked the same question. How did Ukraine see what NATO couldn't? The answer was devastating. China assumed Ukraine was using Cold War-era radar logic. Look for objects. Look for reflections. Look for emissions. But Atlas Shield doesn't hunt machines. It hunts behavior, formation breathing, microdrift, AI sync intervals, thermal variance curves, course correction fingerprints. No stealth technology can hide its own patterns. China's drones had flown too perfectly, too clean, too synchronized, too algorithmic. Stealth didn't make them invisible. Stealth made them predictable. And predictability is the first thing AI kills. If China's stealth failed here, it could fail anywhere. Taiwan, the Pacific, the South China Sea. Beijing went into immediate lockdown. Algorithms dissected line by line. Stealth archives re-audited. Engineers quietly removed. Encrypted demands sent to Moscow for telemetry. Russia denied. China demanded. NATO watched. And analysts saw what Beijing tried to bury. Ukraine's AI hadn't just detected drones. It cracked China's entire stealth doctrine. This wasn't a tactical embarrassment, it was a mathematical failure. Because if AI pattern recognition can unravel stealth here, it can unravel it everywhere. Behind closed doors, the truth settled in. Stealth hadn't lost to radar. It lost to behavior, and behavior can't be hidden from a machine built to read it. For decades, the world believed stealth was about avoiding radar. Ukraine proved that era is over. Stealth isn't invisibility. Stealth is a pattern. And every pattern can be learned, predicted, and broken. China's fleet didn't fall because Ukraine had better weapons. It fell because Ukraine understood the first rule of AI warfare. A machine recognizes another machine better than any human ever will. In modern conflict, invisibility isn't the advantage. Unpredictability is. The fog drifted slowly back across the Black Sea, softening the glow of distant fires until the horizon became quiet again. To anyone on shore, the night looked unchanged, silent, calm, undisturbed. But beneath that calm, the balance of modern warfare had shifted. China poured billions into building a fleet the world could never detect. Ukraine spent a fraction teaching an AI-1 principle. Nothing moves without a signature. And no signature is truly invisible. The humiliation wasn't in the losses. It was in the truth revealed. That China's most advanced stealth platform had been defeated not by jets, not by missiles, not even by NATO, but by an algorithm that understood its behavior better than the engineers who built it. Inside the command room, Lieutenant Ilya Morenko closed the mission log. No adrenaline, just the quiet understanding that he had witnessed the moment war itself changed shape. He understood now. Future battles wouldn't be fought above the clouds or below the waves. They would be fought in the invisible space between patterns, between AI minds predicting each other's moves. This wasn't a failed test. It was a preview of the wars to come. If you want more deep cinematic breakdowns of modern conflict and AI-driven warfare, subscribe to Vanguard Military. Because the next battlefield won't wait, and the next war won't be won by who shoots first, but by who sees first.